Airbus seems to be entering one of its busiest eras ever. Only weeks after confirming that it is evaluating a stretched version of the A350, a natural evolution of the line, new reports have surfaced about an entirely different concept, a mysterious aircraft rumored to be called the A390. The internet is exploding with claims about this jet. Some say it's a massive giant, even larger than the A380. Others say it's a sleek widebody built to crush Boeing's 777X. It all sounds dramatic, maybe even unrealistic. But surprisingly, parts of these rumors are actually true. Airbus is studying something far more interesting, more realistic, and significantly bolder, something that has no real predecessor in the company's history. So, what exactly might the A390 be? And when could we actually see it? Let's take a deeper look. Among all Airbus aircraft, none stands out more than the A380, the world's largest double-deck passenger plane, and once the signature flagship for several major Middle Eastern airlines. Despite its size and engineering brilliance, the A380 never delivered the commercial success Airbus expected. Between 2020 and 2022, major carriers like Air France, China Southern, and Malaysia Airlines retired their entire A380 fleets early, removing roughly 12% of all global A380s from the skies. Naturally, this raised a big question. Is Airbus planning a successor? Some began imagining a theoretical aircraft known as the A390, bigger than the 777X, but a bit smaller than the A380. But launching a jet of that magnitude would force Airbus to think very carefully about cost, feasibility, and long-term strategy. It all comes down to one single question. Does an aircraft of this size have a strong business case? The first factor is simple: economics and real market demand. After watching the A380 struggle to break even, Airbus must be extremely cautious. They must investigate whether enough ultra-dense routes exist to consistently fill an aircraft nearly as large as the A380. Today's market favors efficient twin-engine widebodies that can fly point to point. A giant aircraft would be limited mostly to mega-hub airports, reducing its operational flexibility. The second factor is cost per seat. A project that costs tens of billions to develop only makes sense if fuel burn and maintenance per passenger are lower than smaller jets. Yet things have changed since the A380 program ended in 2021. International travel is rebounding rapidly, and congestion at major global hubs is increasing. This trend suggests that high-capacity aircraft could make a comeback. A fuel-efficient follow-up to the A380, built for the busiest long-haul routes, might be a risky gamble, but one that could generate decades of near-monopoly profits. Airbus could justify investing $15 billion if the long-term market demand exceeds 400 units, driven by growing global passenger numbers. With strong financials and cutting-edge technology, Airbus could reshape the wide-body market while high development costs keep Boeing out of the race. But a strong business case isn't enough. Airbus must also tackle engineering and production challenges. The first question is basic but enormous. Can such an aircraft even be built? Designing a structure that is huge yet lightweight while meeting all safety requirements demands advances in material science and aerodynamics. Then there's propulsion. A plane the size of a hypothetical A390 would need engines with dramatically higher thrust, yet efficient enough to deliver competitive cost per seat. This is where Airbus feels confident. Their A380 experience proved they can design and assemble the largest civilian airliner ever made. Over the past decade, Airbus has also become a leader in composite materials with aircraft like the A350 and A320neo. This expertise means a future A390 could use a larger composite fuselage with better strength-to-weight performance, lowering empty weight and improving efficiency. Airbus also works closely with Rolls-Royce, GE, and Pratt & Whitney, giving them direct access to the latest propulsion advances. Engines like Rolls-Royce's next-generation UltraFan, with its high bypass ratio and major efficiency gains, could be perfect for a large aircraft like an A390. Before we continue, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We've got even bigger stories coming your way. Beyond engineering, airport infrastructure might be the greatest obstacle. A jet approaching A380 size would need upgraded runways, wider taxiways, multi-level gates, possibly even 3 jet bridges, plus ground handling similar to the A380. If too few airports can support it, the plane becomes limited from day one. However, all of that becomes clear once we reveal what Airbus is actually planning. And in truth, Airbus hasn't disappointed those hoping for something bold. They may never officially call it the A390, but what they are studying is far more practical, more ambitious, and unlike anything the industry has seen before. For years, social media has shared wild mock-ups of an Airbus A390 with 3 decks, 6 engines, room for over 1,000 passengers, and a range of 7,500 nautical miles. Some even claim up to 1,200 passengers in a high-density configuration. But these concepts feel more like enthusiast fantasies than Airbus's real thinking, especially since the A380 itself struggled due to its massive size. But the idea of an A390 does not end with those exaggerated designs. When rumors emerged in 2015 about Boeing's 797, its planned middle-of-the-market aircraft, some assumed Airbus would counter with an A390 in that category. But Airbus already dominates the smaller middle market with the A321XLR, which covers 4,700 nautical miles and 180 to 220 seats. No need for a new aircraft there. So, a more realistic A390 concept is actually a single-deck wide-body, sleek, efficient, and, really powerful. This approach solves those airport compatibility issues that kind of crippled the A380. Instead of being limited to just 100 upgraded airports worldwide, the A390 could operate at most major global hubs. That gives airlines the flexibility they really want. Another major leap is in materials. Airbus is investing heavily in next-generation composites. These are lighter, stronger, and more eco-friendly. This all helps reduce empty weight, improves fuel burn, and most importantly, lowers emissions, which is absolutely crucial for any large aircraft. But the most shocking part is the range. The A390 is expected to reach around 11,580 miles, or about 18,640 kilometers. That's enough for ultra-long-haul routes like London to Auckland, New York to Sydney, or Dubai to Los Angeles. This easily surpasses both the 777-9 and even the ultra-long-range 777-8, making the A390 the king of ultra-long flights. To achieve this, Airbus is working with Rolls-Royce to use the UltraFan engine, the most advanced geared turbofan ever built, offering up to 25% better fuel efficiency than today's engines. It could be for the A390 what the Trent XWB was for the A350, only on a bigger scale. Inside, the A390 could redefine the twin-engine wide-body. A spacious cabin seating 400 to 450 passengers in 2 classes, potentially beating the 777X in capacity. Airlines could include full beds, private washrooms, and lounges similar to the A380 but more practical and customizable. Expect larger windows, quieter cabins, cleaner air, higher humidity, and LED lighting that adjusts to local time to reduce jet lag. Ultra-long flights become far more comfortable. In the cockpit, Airbus plans to step into the next era of technology. Augmented reality displays, upgraded fly-by-wire systems, and AI that analyzes sensor data to support pilots. High-speed satellite internet lets passengers video call, work, or stream 4K content at 40,000 feet, something unthinkable a decade ago. The aircraft will also be future-proof, compatible with 100% sustainable aviation fuel, ready for hybrid electric propulsion, and potentially hydrogen in later variants. Airbus wants a plane that is greener, smarter, and far more efficient. Yet the A390 faces huge risks, financial, strategic, and technical. Its capacity, around 450 seats, sits very close to Boeing's 777-9, which carries around 426 passengers. A difference of roughly 25 seats might not convince airlines to buy an entirely new aircraft. Airlines care about flexibility and minimizing fleet complexity. Without a clear advantage, they might simply order more 777Xs instead of a new platform. There's also the threat of Boeing's response. If Airbus proves there's demand, Boeing could quickly launch a 777-10, stretching the existing 777X while avoiding massive research and development costs. This would put Airbus at financial risk while Boeing enters the same market with far less investment. Financial risk alone is massive. Building a new ultra-large long-range twin costs tens of billions. Airbus must forecast demand precisely and sell hundreds of units to break even. Delays or cost overruns could doom the program. Airlines also worry about residual value. Large specialized jets tied to a few high-density routes tend to depreciate faster than flexible models like the A350 or 787. If the second-hand market for A390s is small, airlines and leasing companies might hesitate. Technically, the challenges are enormous. A 450-seat ultra-long-haul twin needs record-breaking engines. Integrating something like the UltraFan, big thrust, top efficiency, comes with risks. Any reliability issue could delay the whole program. Even airport infrastructure, though better than in the A380 era, still poses hurdles. Certification, emergency evacuation for 450 passengers in 90 seconds, and regulatory approval are all major obstacles. In the end, the A390's success depends on more than engineering. Airbus must prove that this aircraft offers real value beyond simply ordering more existing wide-body twins. If it fails to offer a clear advantage in capacity and range, it risks becoming another specialized aircraft that struggles to justify its place in a market focused on flexibility and efficiency. In short, for the A390 to succeed, Airbus must build both a technological breakthrough and demonstrate a market need that airlines simply cannot ignore.